about the Prime program and being able to really benefit from the selling of stock options is having that capital base. If you've got that capital base and you've got that extra money sitting in your, in maybe your retirement account, or you've got it in a portfolio or in a savings account and it's not doing anything for you, if you safely invest it carefully, then that can become a nice enough source of cash flow that for a lot of you are actually able to quit your jobs. I've been able to sit down with a lot of you and figure out how to do that. And this is real. This is not me giving you hype at all. This is there's probably, gosh, I don't know. I want to do a survey to find out how many of you have actually been able to quit your jobs or could quit your jobs if you wanted to. Maybe your expenses are replaced. And we call that reaching the singularity. And that's what I really want. I want you to reach the singularity where your income outside of your job matches or exceeds your income within your job. And so there are a lot of ways to do that. If you don't have the capital base, you can go borrow it. And as long as you invest carefully, safely, and wisely, then I think that could be a great way for you to get what you need to make the moves that you want to make. Because now you're officially in possession of a very special skill that will allow you to generate income in ways other people can't. So one of the first questions I see here is from Serge Phillips. He says, "How can people in the West Indies participate in the Prime program? Is E-Trade available in the French or Dutch colonies, for example, St. Martin?" Well, here's the deal. I don't know if E-Trade is available there, but what I can tell you is that E-Trade has amazing customer service, and I would reach out to the customer service team and let them know the situation, and they will talk to you about it. Also, if you want to look for the top options trading platforms, Tasty Trade is big. Charles Schwab, you got Interactive Brokers, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, TradeStation, Webull, and then of course there's Robinhood, which is what the examples are for in class. If you log in at drboyceprime.com, or if you just go to theblackbusinessschool.com, you can actually take a look at the trainings that we've done on how to go in and identify your stocks and sell your options and generate your cash flow. It's pretty straightforward, but at the same time, where you want to be careful is on that risk management piece, making sure you don't put yourself in any sort of financially dangerous situation. Jennifer Castleberry, is it possible to sell options on a Roth IRA to avoid paying taxes on income that does not exceed the amount of the after-tax contributions made that year? Well, you know what? The thing about a Roth IRA is that when you put money in the Roth IRA, you've already paid your taxes. You've already pay the taxes on the Roth before you put the money in. So any income, any earnings inside the Roth is tax free for the most part. Again, you should talk to a tax professional. I'm not a tax professional, but that's pretty much my understanding of the situation. Now, if you start withdrawing money to pay expenses, like you know how in class we talk about how once you get your cash flow each week, you can spend a percentage of it to pay bills and stuff like that, or pay off credit cards. Well, the problem is that that with a Roth, if you start doing that, then you might end up dealing with some penalties for early withdrawal or perhaps some tax effects. So you really want to make sure you talk to a tax professional about that to make sure that you're careful with that move. Let's see. Jennifer says, as a new Prime student, will there be an opportunity for me to have a one-on-one session to review my current portfolio and get Dr. Boyce's feedback? Yeah, I do a few one-on-ones. I also do something we call Dr. Boyce VIP. And if you're not on the text list, you can just text the word options to 87948. Text options to 87948, and I'll send out a link for you guys to schedule a one-on-one with me when you're ready. I know some of you would prefer to go through your portfolio directly. And the good thing is that if you do have a little bit of a capital base, and it doesn't have to be a ton, maybe you can access, even if it's debt, maybe $20,000 to $30,000 or more. Then I think I know for a fact that the time that we spend in the one-on-one would be more than made up in the additional income that you'd have when you walk out. I sat down with a student just the other day who he was a father of three, about 45 years old, wanted to quit his job or wanted to stop. He was actually ran a business, but he wanted to get away from that, spend more time with his kids. And by the time we got done, I think we were at about 7,000 a week in income. And he actually gave me a good compliment, which I appreciated. He said, "You're one of the first online people that just does financial stuff that isn't lying to us." And I said, "Yeah, there are so many people out here that will charge you insane amounts of money for a program and really can't deliver. And I know why they can't deliver, because a lot of them just started trading stocks last year or 2 years ago. My credentials are out there. I've been teaching finance for a long time. I taught at Syracuse University. I was on the faculty there for 12 years, and then also the University of Kentucky, et cetera. So I'm not going to tell you that something's doable if it's not doable. So literally, The key thing is that you have to have a capital base. If you don't have anything to work with, it's a little bit tougher. You got to work your way up. But we even talk in class about solutions on how you can build a capital base and how you can actually get enough money available that you can actually make your moves. A lot of you are investing as a family, you're investing with your friends, things like that. In fact, if you're looking for people that you can work with and partner with, you may want to come to the Stock Options Summit on April 19th. If you go to stockoptionssummit.com, that's where you can get a chance to participate in the Stock Options Summit. All right, so next question is, let's see here. The next question is Danny Wilmington. Dr. Boyce, can you explain in detail how you made money on DJT, sold options and puts? Okay, so DJT, that's Donald Trump's company. For a little while, what drove me to that stock was that the stock had a lot of activity. It was shooting up like crazy, and the stock is a crappy stock. It's a crappy company. It's not worth anything. It's really not. I mean, their revenue is incredibly low. But because Trump has all these people that love him so much, I think that's what's been boosting the stock up. So I said, okay, so here's the thing: if you understand the market the way I do, you know that every situation provides an opportunity. So I said, okay, well, people are overpaying for these stock options. Let me go sell some of these options. Now, the interesting thing about DJT though is that it's not as pretty as it was before. It's not bad, but some of the hype has died. The stock was doing really well for a little while, and I sold calls on the stock at the time, and I was able to literally sell at an incredibly high strike price. I think the stock was trading at 65. The strike I picked was like $80. So I made several $1,000s selling those calls, and the stock has not gone up. It's actually gone down a little bit, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I figured it was going to cool off. I didn't think it was going to actually get to 80, and if it did, I didn't care. I was going to make money that way too. So either way, I was going to make money. It was just a matter of how much I was going to make. I also sold a put because I actually wanted to acquire another 100 shares, but I wanted to acquire them at a price lower than the price that they were trading at right now. So I sold a put with a strike of 62.50, and I made a few $1,000s in that put. So altogether, I probably made about $8,000 or $9,000 off the Donald Trump stock. And then once I sort of deal with that put and exercise and all that stuff, I'll have some shares where I can generate weekly income off that stock. The hard part about this one, though, is that it's a little bit riskier because the cost of the puts is really high. That's why I sold the put instead of bought it, because puts, when something's overpriced, you want to sell it. You don't want to buy it. So my feeling, my belief, my theory was that the puts on the stock are way too high because a lot of people think it's going to collapse. And I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that they're right. So if it does collapse, then yeah, I'm going to lose some money on that. So remember, investing always involves risk. This was more of a fun play. This was not something that I did with major money. I probably put maybe 5% of my portfolio toward that particular objective. My safer moves are the ones that we cover in class, and those are the ones where I make sure I lock it down and secure everything before I go after the money. You always want to play defense before you play offense. That's what we talk about in class. Let's see here. Latanya says, if you're offering study groups, I'd like to volunteer to assist. Okay, well, you know what, Latanya, thank you for that offer. Email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. Give them your information, and what I'll do is I'll mention it in class. And also, I hope you're coming to the Stock Options Summit in Los Angeles, April 19th. You'll get a chance to meet a lot of people. And those of you that are looking to work with others, you can find, you can make a lot of good friends at the Stock Options Summit. It's in LA. You can go to stockoptionssummit.com. That's stockoptionssummit.com. And we're going to be there for the whole weekend. We're going to be there. It's going to be a big party, but it's going to be like an options party. It's going to be like a big fun party with amazing Black people that want to build and want to grow. And also you're going to make money at the same time. I mean, how great is that? So it's definitely partying with a purpose. And we're not here to BS, but at the same time, we don't have to be serious all the time. We can have a lot of fun. But really, when you walk out of there, you will have clear strategies on how to make money. If you give me something to work with, then I can get you to a place that is better than any place you've ever been. I can literally show you how to make money without working. It's very, very easy to do if you know what you're doing. All right, so let's see here. Latanya says, please take a look at the synthetic calls. Okay, so synthetic calls, we have not we covered those briefly in class, but I'll cover those again. We'll go through a synthetic call strategy, how to sell synthetic calls. They're a little bit riskier, but I get what you're saying. The capital requirements are lower, so we can certainly look into synthetic calls. Actually, I'm going to write that down so that I can make sure we cover that in class, because I think that's worth discussing. And also, if you text the word options to 87948, I will send you all a link where you can also send me more questions and ask me questions for class, and I can do recordings for you and get answers back to you. Let's see. Danny Wilmington says, are the options on VKTX always that high? Why are they so high? VKTX options are not always that high. That stock was high, I think, because they either had an earnings announcement or they had a major pregnant moment, so to speak. They were going to have some maybe clinical trials they were going to come do or something, because I got rid of that stock out of the portfolio. I don't even mess with it anymore. I let my calls expire. I made some money off of it. I made a few $1,000s from it. And then I just walked away from it because I wanted to put my money more towards the money makers that we discussed in class that are going to generate that consistent income. So I have my stable group of about 4 or 5 money makers, and I tend to sort of stay with that. And if I make a deviation, it's usually because I see just a great opportunity with some other asset. So yeah, so if you could log in at drboyceprime.com, you can find the money makers list. I delivered one on March 30th. So just go to drboyceprime.com, log in, and you can see the moneymakers list. And also, I will text that out to you guys so you guys can have that as well. Jay Lewis says, how do I get out of a stagnant put? I've got insurance for rounds of a stock, which I no longer sell calls on. These puts expired June 21st. Yeah. So yeah, I would go ahead and consider selling it. This isn't investment advice, but I sell puts when I don't need them anymore. It's just like getting whatever little amount of cash value you can get out of an insurance policy. Remember, when you buy the puts to protect your portfolio, you're not looking to make money from the puts. You're hoping you don't make money from the puts. And it's for the same reason that you don't want to make money from your insurance policy. You don't want to need your insurance. You pay it just in case something goes bad. So in class, the first objective I have, I really train you guys in class the same way I was trained to be an airplane pilot. When you're trained to be an airplane pilot, the first thing that you are taught on is safety, how to be safe, how to be safe, how to be safe. Being safe is the most important part of flying an airplane. If you go out there and get killed, then that's very bad for you. So effectively, after I show you how to be safe, then I show you how to make money. But I'm not going to show you how to make money if it's done in a sloppy, crazy, or dangerous way. That's not of interest to me. And again, there's ways to do that. Like you can participate in stuff where all they do is gunsling and they're buying all these options and doing this and doing that. That's fine, but that comes off to me more like a casino. Remember, I'm a financial scientist, so when we do diagrams and graphical representations of risk profiles of various assets and asset classes, we can see mathematically what that situation looks like, what that looks like to the investor, the risk profile looks like. And the thing about the Prime program that I love the most about it is that it was designed to be this really safe and effective way for you to make consistent income, and income becomes a goal. So the interesting thing about investing is that typically you have to make a choice. Do you want income or do you want growth? And it doesn't mean you can't have a little bit of both. We try to structure where you're going to have both, but really, actually, income exceeds growth in terms of importance, and really, safety exceeds both income and growth. So before you start making the money, I want you to make safe money. So it's really a conservative strategy, and that's so it's really built for people that just want to make extra income. You've been working hard, you've been saving, you've been putting money into your retirement, you've got some home equity, you got some good credit, whatever it is that you have that's giving you some security. I'm just showing you how to generate consistent income off of that financial security you've created for yourself. And maybe some of you want to quit your jobs or you want to let go of your businesses and stop working so freaking hard. That was what happened with the student. He had a client that was paying him about a decent amount of money, well over $10,000 a month. And we were able to replace that income without him actually having to deal with any people or without him having to actually get up and do any work. And I felt like that was a superior option because he had a family, and I think that with investing, your family is more important than just making more money. So anyway, Regina Lee, what is your thoughts on the stock shift Pixie, PIXY? Let me take a look here. So PIXY, I looked at the stock. I didn't like what I saw. Yeah, it's kind of almost like a penny stock, and there's nothing special about this stock. It doesn't work for what we do in prime class. I'm not a fan. So that's my assessment of that stock. Be really careful about these little scrappy stocks. I mean, you could buy some just to have some in your portfolio, but and they may be appealing because they're so cheap, but they're in a lot of cases they're just not that great. And so anyway, actually, I have a list of stocks that you can actually buy if you want to just buy stocks that are cheap. I did make a list of quality stocks that you could buy for under $10. Let's see here. If you email support@theblackbusinessschool.com, they can give you that list. I don't have it in front of me, but if I did, I find some way to give it to you. And if you bring it up during class, I'm sure I could pull the link and give it to you in class. All right, so Chantel says, since stock options could potentially yield money back to the investor quicker than stocks, how do you extract your earnings? The way I extract my earnings is I just pull the money out and I spend what I need to spend, and then I reinvest what I want to reinvest, and then I keep some in cash, and then I also put some in my long-term portfolio. The way taxes are involved, it depends on the situation. You really want to talk to a tax professional about that. But generally speaking, any income you make from the options trades is going to be taxed as ordinary income because it's a short-term capital gain. So the same way you get taxed on your paycheck, all this is basically is another paycheck. So that money that you're making every week is literally another paycheck. That's what that is. All right. So next question, David Howard. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, David, you can log in at drboyceprime.com if you want to get access to all the recordings, all the materials, everything that's there. Also, we're going to have a class coming up very, very soon. And also the list of money makers options that you can sell or stocks you can sell options on right now to make money. All that's available. Just log in at drboyceprime.com. Or you can also email the support team. All right, so let's see. Is BBAI good options play? It looks good based on earnings and things you said. BBAI is Big Bear AI. No, I don't like it. It doesn't look like a company that makes a lot of money, and it doesn't really play well for what we do in class. I'm not a fan. So yeah, not that this is not investing advice, but that's not a company I would mess with. I'm not saying don't mess with it. I would say because most stocks are pretty fairly priced, so there is some chance it could go up possibly, but it's not something that fits the strategies that we discuss in class. So I'm not a fan of it. And check the moneymaker grid. I deliberately extracted those stocks based on specific criteria, that scientific criteria that I learned in my PhD program. So literally these are stocks that are selected, based on all the stuff that I shoved in my brain over the last 30 years. So that's why they're on the moneymaker list. Every stock is not a moneymaker. Every stock is not something that works for this strategy, but the ones that do work, they really do work, and the income is quite solid. It's quite consistent. Quentin, is selling covered calls and cash secure puts a better strategy in a bull market, bear market, or it doesn't matter? Well, the beauty of the strategy is honestly, if you play it right, it really doesn't matter. You guys, a lot of you were in class when in 2022, when the market was going down, we were making money then. A lot of you were in class during 2023 when the market was going crazy, we were making money then. This year, we're making money now. Next year, we're going to be making money after that. This is an income driving strategy. So effectively, you can do well with this strategy in a bull market, bear market, or anything in between. The one thing, some of the variables that do matter is how much every week when you're making your adjustments on your portfolio, you're pretty much deciding, do I want to just be an income creator or do I want to be a speculator? Do I just want, do I want to go chase waterfalls or do I want to stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to, kind of TLC style? If you want to go chasing waterfalls, then you become more of a speculator. You give yourself more upside so that the stock has to go higher to hit the strike price, which means that you get more upside, but you reduce your income. But if you want to stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, you just get your income and you become more of a bear, which means that if the market goes down, bears are happier when the market goes down because they're prepared for a decline. Bulls are happier when the market goes up. So if you're a bear and the market becomes bullish in this strategy, you're not going to make as much money as you would have made if you were a bull. But if you're not a greedy bear, then you're still going to be fine. You're gonna still make your income just like your job, just like you get a paycheck. The only difference between this and a job is that you don't actually have to go to work and you get income without working. The difference between this and real estate is that real estate comes with lower cash flow, more expenses, and a lot more work and a lot more headaches. Believe me, I own property and I do this strategy. I make my money from this. I don't make my money from real estate. Real estate, I make capital gains for the most part, but with this strategy, I actually get my income. This is how I pay my bills. So log in to drboyceprime.com and I can show you exactly what I'm invested in, and then you'll just kind of see that directly. Okay, next, Charmetro. I would like to know if you're going to teach something relevant to 2024 about the stocks, the puts and calls. I would like to make money and if the stock market is going up or down. Yeah, well, we've talked a lot about 2024 in terms of what's happening with the market now. Each week or whenever we have class, I give you guys the best assessment of what I see with the market. And so, in fact, one of the reasons that I'm doing the event on April 1st to prepare to storm-proof your portfolio is because I believe that the market could be going down. And so when we get together in prime class, we're going to actually talk about how to sort of be a bear and to hibernate for the winter to really protect yourself in case this market really does do some of the terrible things that some experts believe that it might do. But at the same time, though, you can't live your life in fear. You have to just sort of make your moves and be consistent with that. All right, so let's see, one more question, then we're going to be done for tonight. How much money? Let's see. Kamisha says, How much would be best to start with options investing? It really as much as possible. Just being prudent though. So let's say that I had one student that said I could go borrow, 100 grand on my home equity or something, and I said, well, let's not use the whole 100 grand. Let's use 70, and let's see what we can do with 70. And we sat there, we put together the strategy, and we were able to increase his income dramatically by basically me mimicking my portfolio and setting his up the exact same way. We bought the exact same assets, set the exact same structure, and it wasn't investing advice. It was just me showing him what I did. And now his income is a few $1,000s a week higher. So really, there's no set amount. I think you want to have at least 10,000 if you really want to be able to do something that's going to make a difference. But remember, if you don't have money, you maybe relatives who trust you who have money, or maybe you have people that you can partner with. There's one student who partners with her best friend, and they pull their money together, and I think they both have enough money to quit their jobs if they want to. So you can pull that off. Remember, it doesn't always have to be your money. There are other ways to get access to capital. Access to capital is what matters. It doesn't always have to be money that you actually have. What's the best strategy to generate extra income to get it? Log in at drboyceprime.com, and I give 1,000 examples of exactly how I sell my options every week and make my money. We've also gone through every single strategy. We have the whole stock options masterclass in there where you can learn about everything from the spreads to the butterflies to the condors to going short, going long, everything in between. And so all that's in there. So just log in to drboyceprime.com and you can find everything that you need. All right, guys. So I'm done. I'm going to send this out to you, and then I'm going to come back around a little bit later and give you some more information. And also, don't forget, if you have any questions about any part of your membership, email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. And also, I'll send you out the link where you guys can send me more questions. I will answer every single one of the questions you submit during class. And we're going to meet for class soon. We're going to do a Prime 101 first, so that for those of you that are new, so you can get started and kind of learn the process, and then we're going to do some follow-up. So I'm literally going to meet you guys about 3 days in a row on the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th of April. And we're going to just do options, options, options. And then the next week, we're going to be in LA. It's going to be options, options, options. So exercise your options. I think that that's a great way to put yourself in a better financial position. But remember, we do options different here. We're not here just gunslinging and day trading and all that. That's all fine and good. We've got the B1 Forex Academy if that's what you want to do. But this is for those who want to generate extra income. If that's who you are and you're not a big risk taker, this strategy is something I consider, I believe that will make a difference in your life. So stick with it. You'll get it. It'll work.